we think about heat stress, we often imagine outdoor workers under the sun. However, indoor workers such as chefs also face serious heat exposure every day. In small restaurant kitchens, heat from cooking equipment, poor ventilation, and long working hours can put workers at risk of heat stress. In kitchens, heat stress is caused by continuous exposure to heat from stoves, fryers, ovens, and steam, combined with physical activity and limited cooling.
In Malaysia, a cross-sectional study conducted among kitchen workers in Kampar, Perak, found that kitchen workers are significantly exposed to heat stress due to radiant heat from cooking equipment, poor ventilation, and high humidity. The study involved 62 kitchen workers from local restaurants and hawker stalls, and environmental monitoring using wet bulb globe temperature showed heat stress exposure in multiple kitchen areas. The study also reported that many workers experienced heat-related symptoms, and dehydration from heat exposure was associated with kidney-related health risks. Globally, occupational heat stress is recognized as a major health concern by the World Health Organization and the International Labour Organization. In countries such as the United Kingdom, the United States, and Australia, occupational safety authorities acknowledge heat stress as a serious workplace hazard and have issued guidelines to protect workers. These international findings are relevant to Malaysia, as similar high-temperature working conditions exist, especially in kitchen environments.
Now we will move to routes of exposure of heat to workers. Kitchen workers are exposed to heat stress mainly through thermal exposure rather than chemical exposure. Heat enters the body through several routes in the kitchen environment. Firstly, environmental heat comes from hot air and radiant heat from cooking appliances such as stoves, ovens, and fryers. Poor ventilation and high humidity trap heat and reduce the body's ability to cool down through sweating. Secondly, metabolic heat is produced by physical activities such as lifting heavy pots, chopping ingredients, and moving quickly during busy hours. Lastly, wearing thick or non-breathable uniforms can trap heat and prevent excess body heat from being released. If these exposures are not controlled, workers may experience dehydration, fatigue, heat exhaustion, or heat stroke. According to Dash Malaysia, kitchens and restaurants are considered high-risk workplaces due to hot cooking processes and limited air circulation. Now for the exposure limit in Malaysia. Exposure to heat stress is assessed using the wet bulb globe temperature, or WBGT, as recommended by DOSH. WBGT measures air temperature, radiant heat, humidity, and air movement together to determine heat risk. Higher WBGT levels increase the risk of dehydration, fatigue, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke, especially during heavy work or when thick uniforms are worn. To protect workers, DOSH applies threshold limit values based on work intensity and heat acclimatization, which guide rest breaks, cooling, and water intake.
A real-life example of heat stress in kitchen workers was reported at a Pizza Hut outlet in Lafayette, Louisiana, where workers described blazing hot kitchen conditions with temperatures exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit due to a broken air conditioning system. Workers reported excessive sweating, dehydration symptoms, and some were forced to leave mid-shift because of heat-related illness. Prolonged exposure to such conditions can lead to heat exhaustion, where workers may feel weak, nauseous, or confused. In severe cases, heat exhaustion can progress to heat stroke, a life-threatening medical emergency. High heat also affects work performance and safety, increasing the risk of slips, burns, and work-related errors. To manage heat stress in kitchen workplaces, investigation tools are used to identify and evaluate heat exposure risks. Firstly, a heat risk assessment is conducted to identify heat sources such as stoves, ovens, fryers, and steam, as well as to evaluate work duration, workload intensity, and ventilation conditions. Secondly, the wet bulb globe temperature, or WBGT index, is used as recommended by DOSH Malaysia to assess occupational heat exposure. WBGT takes into account air temperature, humidity, radiant heat from equipment, and air movement. Environmental monitoring is also carried out to measure temperature and humidity levels in kitchen areas. especially during peak working hours.
Medical surveillance is important to detect early signs of heat-related illness among kitchen workers. Before employment, workers undergo medical examinations to identify pre-existing conditions and assess their fitness to work in hot environments. Periodic health monitoring is then conducted to monitor signs of heat exhaustion, dehydration, cardiovascular strain, and reduced heat tolerance. Workers are also educated to recognize early symptoms of heat stress and to report discomfort promptly.
Next, we will discuss about the control measures for heat stress. Firstly, engineering controls aim to reduce heat exposure at the source. These include installing effective exhaust and ventilation systems, improving air circulation, using heat-insulated cooking equipment, and providing air-conditioned rest areas. Secondly, administrative controls focus on modifying work practices to reduce heat exposure. These include implementing work rest schedules, rotating workers between tasks, limiting overtime, scheduling high heat tasks during cooler periods, and providing heat stress training. For the third one is, personal measures support other controls and include wearing lightweight, breathable uniforms, using heat-resistant gloves, and ensuring easy access to drinking water. Last but not least is, employers should also have clear procedures for managing heat-related emergencies, including recognizing heat stroke symptoms, providing first aid, and ensuring access to emergency contacts.
To better understand how heat stress affects workers in real-life kitchen environments, we conducted a brief interview with kitchen workers. The following interview explores their experiences, symptoms, and awareness of heat stress at work.
Hi, can I know what is your role here and how old are you?
Hai, saya sebagai kitchen crew dan berumur 18 tahun.
Pernah rasa pening atau nak pitam tak masa kerja?
Pernah juga bila masa lama berdiri dekat dapur.
Oh, okay. Minum air tak? Minum air selalu tak waktu kerja?
Minum, tapi kalau banyak busy sangat, saya lupa.
Okay. If your body really tired, what do you do?
Saya slow sikit kerja dan minum air pun kalau sempat.
Hi, can I know what is your role here and how old are you?
Hi, I'm a supervisor here and I am 35 years old.
So, what symptom do you usually experience when working long hour in the kitchen?
Usually the symptoms that I get is I feel dizzy and headache.
Okay, are you awareness of heat stress or heat-related illness?
I heard about it, but I don't know the details.
Okay. So what do you usually do to cope with heat while working in the kitchen?
Usually I drink more water when I can, and then I try to step away from the kitchen because the kitchen very hot.
Okay. In your opinion, last question is, in your opinion, what could be improved to reduce heat in the kitchen?
In my opinion, and I think maybe better ventilations and could get more rest break for a better way.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.